I dedicate this to my dear grandmother, Chava Bas Elimlech, who passed Tuesday morning, the 7th of Adar 1. To some she was Elaine, to some she was Rabbi Hecht. To me, she was my Bubby Hecht. She was a Bubby who had 10 children of her own and adopted 2 more who were homeless. She was a Bubby who actively worked and directed the camp she founded in 1953, Camp Emunah, until the young age of 93. For decades, she was a rebbetzin of the largest shul in East Flatbush. She was a matriarch in every sense of the word. She inspired 3 generations of Jewish girls and women. The thought of retirement never even entered into her mind. While most people work hard when they are young and then look forward to taking it easy and relaxing when they get older, the older Bubby got, the more she grew. She was always reading, studying, asking others for direction, and deepening her connection with God. Her mother, my great-grandmother, could not have a Jewish education. It was not something girls could get in the year 1900 in Poland. But she did everything she could to make sure her child, my grandmother, got whatever Jewish education was available to New Yorkers in the 20s and 30s. She gobbled up these precious teachings and would go on to share them with young ladies for the rest of her life. This week's portion, Parshas Tetzaveh, is the only Torah portion from the birth of Moses until his death in which his name Moshe isn't mentioned. Any reader of the Torah will notice that we do speak of Moshe this week, but instead of referring to him by name, he's just called you, without a name, Va'ata. And the obvious question is why? Why purposely not mention his name? Additionally, the portion opens with the specifications of the special oil used for the menorah kindling in the Holy Temple. What is the connection between the menorah and this unusual anonymity of Moses? There are a number of great answers given, and they're all correct. I'd like to share one of them with you today. Perhaps we can say the Torah is teaching us a most valuable lesson in life. What made Moshe great was the fact that he didn't need to be mentioned. It was his self-effacement that made him so attractive to God, and it was this characteristic trait that enabled him to be a beacon of light, a menorah for the rest of time. Moses did not need the spotlight on him and actually preferred it to be on others. If one wants to be a menorah for others, if one wants to provide direction and illuminate the path for others, then he or she must be modest and humble. It's not the noise or the shouting that attracts. It's sincerity and truth that draws us all close. The prophet teaches us, Loi beruach Hashem, Loi berash Hashem, Loi bo'esh Hashem. The Lord is not found in the great powerful wind, nor in the mighty earthquake, nor in the raging fire. God is in the soft murmuring voice, Koil demamodaka. You could call him Moshe, or call him just you. It didn't matter. You would get the same genuine Moshe. He was the greatest of the great, yet was so low maintenance and preferred no attention. As the Talmud teaches in Tractate Eruvin, page 13b, Kol haboreach min hakavod, hakavod roidef acharov. One who runs away from honor, honor will chase after them. But if one runs after and seeks honor, if one runs after and seeks attention and recognition, then, as the Yiddish saying goes, kavod is wie a schotten, was mehr men läuft ihm noch, als weiter ant läuft er. Honor is like a shadow. The more you run after it, the farther it runs away. In God's infinite wisdom, he decided to take 2 great souls on the 7th of Adar. Moses passed on this day over 3,000 years ago, and Rebbetzin Chava Hecht shares that same date of passing and ascent on high. This isn't a coincidence. It's by divine design, as she lived a life in this mold of Moses. Throughout her 70-plus working years, my grandmother inspired and motivated thousands upon thousands of Jewish girls to be proud Jewish girls, to be educated Jewish girls. It was unpopular when she started, but the detractors learned quickly of the power unleashed by all of these girls. Like Moses, she sought no honor, she sought no fame. On the contrary, she never felt worthy of attention, always thought others were the great ones, while she was just a simpleton. She was the most low-maintenance person I knew. But the truth is the truth. She never asked for respect, and that's precisely why she was entrusted with educating, inspiring, and molding multiple generations of Jewish women power. Through her ever-present, upbeat, and positive attitude, there are thousands of people who call her Bubby Hecht. One of my favorite lines that she would often say was, "A mother has enough love for all her children." And she then extended that to her grandchildren and great-grandchildren as well. She loved us all deeply and would take great pride in our successes and was deeply pained by our troubles. To some she was Elaine, to some she was Rabbi Hecht, to some she was Bubby, and to some she was just you. It didn't matter to her. For her, it was never about me. It was always about Hashem. Personal ego was completely set aside to follow her soul's mission here on this world. Let us learn from her and focus not on what we need, but rather on what we are needed for. Let us not seek out attention and honor. With these lessons in hand, we will be like the menorah and provide light and direction to all those around us. May her memory continue to be an inspiration and blessing for us all. I wish you a good Shabbos.